We should all be beyond feeling that we have to know the answer to every question. That's a tendency that I've seen in the group. It's a kind of issue that's flown around my head like the birds of misfortune frequently do, but you can always choose not to allow them to make a nest in your hair, can't you? The thing about feeling as if you should know and answer every damn question is a bugbear of this collection of people. And we should help people move along. Now, the answer to this question is one I don't agree with personally, because my understanding was that we would create a sphere for each density level. Well, each of the 6 points of the axis, there are 6 spheres. The way I remember this technique given originally, there were 6 balls. I mean, correct me if I'm mistaken, but I seem to recall that we did create 6 spheres, and we moved these 6 spheres out on each of the axes. Yeah. No, you don't. No, we work with 6. That's how I understand it. That's how it's been done. Now, when we field questions like it, we ought to be comfortably aware of the fact that we're receiving questions and answering them for people who have just arrived at this point, just discovered the work, right? Whereas there are those people around who have got a considerable willingness and kind of confidence to explore the techniques in ways that I think probably you've heard me encourage people to move beyond the fixed, literal, black and white, this is what you do step by step, and that's all you ever do. Just in the same way that we talk about the codes are real and growing accustomed to recognizing them as living beings, just because they're rendered in a colored 2-dimensional form doesn't reduce them in any way, and that's quite a tough one to do. There are a lot of ways of looking at these questions, and I'm trying to keep it open and flexible because this is a healthy thing to do. Now, if I told you that it's quite possible now, if you have worked with the techniques for a period of time, the way that they were given originally in black and white, that you can now simply draw a breath, invite the Manu to activate your flame, and you can breathe 3 breaths. Just literally 3 breaths out. Inhale from density 6 into the Azrae, out again, in, out, and while you're doing that, you're talking to the Manu. And if you need to, you can activate like that, but you must first have moved through a period of time in which you've grown familiar and accustomed with working the technique as it was given, and then you move into a space where you naturally feel, not because you want to tell your friends that you're already doing it with the Manu and the your best friend, which the Manu is anyway, but you're doing it for the way that we teach, from the inside, the sincere, genuine. You're feeling it that way, and you're feeling it's okay to do it. Now back along, when we move from the Hierophant with a 6-pointed Star of David shape, right? And Ash and I happen to drop the beloveds, we're encouraged to think a little bit beyond that, and suddenly we're going to 48 points, and then all of a sudden we're going to 100 and some, and then all of a sudden we're going to it's like, you're nobody unless you're pulling a 144-point star when you're doing the numeric seal. It's crazy. You have to find your own way inside of this. So all we can do is set you up, give you the framework, and encourage you to work with it until you start to develop the feeling inside that's telling you your relationship with the Christos, or if you happen to genuinely be working with anybody from the member space, that you're being encouraged to explore variations, and that's going vertical. And it's sidestepping all the other business that's such a distraction, sucks energy off you when you go horizontal, and you engage in all the other kinds of forms that exist as an option. And it should be obvious, and with the things that we've heard so far and more of, the fork in the road is not so very, very far ahead of us now, and separation will become more and more obvious, and that exists outside as well as in, and we're talking about this kind of the healing of attitudes, the healing of feelings, the healing of insecurity, the healing of inadequacy, like I don't know the answer to everything. That's got to be alright. You just got to allow that. You just get on with whatever your particular package contains, and just be happy with that. If you're looking for a secret key, that's the one. It's okay. Just keep your boat pointed in the right direction. It doesn't matter whether you're to the sails and you're dinghy, you're flapping, as long as you catch a bit of wind on the day you intend to, You move along, right? You pull in tight sails in, you're going to capsize your boat, right? You're going to look great for a minute or two when it rises on the water, and you go, oh, look at him go, bump. You know? Come on. Come on, you know this stuff anyway, I don't need to tell you. You all know. And I know you know, and I know I know.